that INEC came in a few days ago. INEC came in to talk about reforms, and these reforms were hinged, against a backdrop of a sweep that they had on 2023 general elections. They had to go review it, and they thought about some very, very vital reforms. We'll get to find out your thoughts on that, and if that is going to chart the new course for the Nigeria electioneering, process. But then, of course, at 11 a.m., there's going to be, don't let the cat out of the bag, but just know that at 11 a.m. it's going to be explosive. And, of course, my time will be up at 12 when my wonderful colleague will be taking over from me. But let me let you in on some things that you ought to know this morning. What are those things that you should know? I mean, just before we hit the front pages of Nigerian newspaper. Now, you should know that the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, on Wednesday had said it remitted 10 trillion naira into the Federation account as of September 2024. Now, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the company, Melikari, said this was alongside 3.5 trillion naira paid in dividends after taxes and revenue for the 2024 fiscal year. Okay, now, Rep member Adewumi Oriyomi Onanuga, Deputy Chief Whip of the House of Representatives, is dead. Well, according to the House spokesperson, Rep. Akin Rotimi Jr., she died after a brief illness on Wednesday. Your soul rest in peace right there, all right? Amen to that. Right now, there were shootings on Wednesday by suspected thugs as the Edo State governorship election petition tribunal resumed hearing on the petition filed by the People's Democratic Party, that is the PDP, and its candidate, Asue Igadolo, and 5 others challenging the declaration of Senator Monday Okwewelo as the winner of the 21 September 2024 governorship poll. Alrighty, seems like that is not going to be ending anytime soon. Even though we pray and we hope that it ends, but what do we know? But one of his days we'll look into that. But security personnel believed to be from the Department of State Services, that is the DSS, have again arrested activist Madi Shehu. Now, it was gathered that Madi was picked up by plainclothes security operative at his clinic in Angwa, Dosa, around 11 a.m. on Wednesday. It should also come to bear the fact that the federal government has proposed a 30 to 60% increase in telecom tariffs to sustain the critical telecommunications sector, while Enshani, who disclosed this in an interview on Wednesday, had stated that recommendations from independent consultants, including the KPMG, had been received. Okay, 30 to 60%, and it will be affordable for Nigerians. I don't know how that arithmetic works, though, but we'll find out. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offenses Commission, IC, has filed a 5-count charge of embezzlement against Jimmy Lawal, a former aide to former governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El-Rufai. Mr. Jimmy Lawal, who served as senior special advisor, counselor to El-Rufai, was charged alongside Umar Waziri, Yusuf Inua, and Solar Life Nigeria Limited. Okay. All right. Now, the Naira on Wednesday depreciated to 1,670 Naira to $1 in the parallel market, from 1,660 Naira to $1 on Tuesday. Now, similarly, though, the Naira depreciated to 1,550 Naira to $1 official foreign exchange markets. But there's also something that is going on that you should know. A 27-year-old Nigerian woman, Patricia Masithela, sounds to me like a Kenyan or South African name, though. But, well, she's Nigerian. Patricia Masithela tragically lost alive after being mauled by a pack of starving dogs in Latina, Italy. Not a good way to go. Now, the incident occurred late Monday night while Patricia was visiting a male acquaintance at his abandoned villa in the Lazio region, according to news agencies right there. What's with all this death now? I don't know. Well, a head-on collision in Niger State has left no fewer than 8 farmers dead in a road accident involving a Toyota Corolla and a tanker trailer. Now, the incident occurred at 8 p.m. on Monday night around Batiti Lanle Road and heading to Kutigi in Lavom local government area of Niger State. Now, the speeding car was trying to overtake another vehicle, when it ran into an oncoming tanker trailer heading to Lagos State to load fuel. I don't know how many times do we have to say these things. I don't know how many times, but you are in a car and this driver is driving recklessly as though he has nothing to lose, and all of y'all will sit back in the car and be quiet. Let's mind our business. It's not my business. It's doing its job. Let me just not talk. Some would even be like, man, this speed is really fast, but if I talk now, it will seem like I'm the only person. Excuse you, please call that driver to caution. Call that. I don't care who you are. If I was in that car, I'll just tell you, hey, Oga, I beg. If you know, if you slow down, drop me. In fact, it's better for him to park so that we can have a conversation or an argument. Better that. Now look at that. 8 farmers just lost their lives on the roadways because this reckless driver, I don't even know where he's running to or rushing to, decided to not only lose his own life, but take 8 people along with him. Now that's not nice. Please, if you are in that kind of situation, tell that driver, slow down. If he doesn't and is unwilling, come out. Step out. It's not by force. Monies can be lost, but when life is lost, you can't get it back. Souls rest in peace, though. Hamas has reportedly agreed to the terms proposed for a ceasefire with Israel, which has conducted land and air assault on Gaza in retaliation for the October 7, 2023 attack. Now, during the invasion of Israel by Hamas, many hostages were taken into Gaza, with only a few released as the crisis escalated, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 46,000 Palestinians. That's a lot. Well, that is that for that. The federal government is proposing a 30 to 60% increase in telecom tariff to sustain the critical telecommunication sector while ensuring affordability for Nigerians. Okay. Quite a number of stories right there going on. And, this is where we will pull the plugs on the things that you ought to know. But there's more. Information reaching us now has it that a couple of headlines has been taken into custody. Newspaper headlines has been taken into custody. And I've got the Guardian newspaper now, the Daily Trust newspaper, the Punch newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, and the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. In case you're just tuning in for the first time, this is the pages. This is the newspaper review segment of the Breakfast Show. And I'll hand down the numbers to you just in case you are a newbie family member who wants to add his voice or her voice in the discourse in the course of reviewing the daily's front pages. At 0907 353 0044 or 0908 766 8888. Now the WhatsApp portal number is 0909 705 4450. Let's start off with this one now. The Guardian newspaper, very colorful and busy now. The very, very big front headliner would be Armed Forces Remembrance Day. That is the kicker. War veterans, wives of fallen heroes, lament neglect despite promises. Page 6. It's got that story. Victims of Bodija explosion lament unfulfilled promises 1 year after. All right, page 9. And to page 6 again, is looking really popular now. Lower inflation hinged on fiscal monetary efforts amid high food prices. And let's get to the base now. Page 15 has got this one. Economists, shippers express worry over customs 12 trillion naira revenue targets. How are they going to get 12 trillion naira revenue targets for the customs? I guess that's why economists and shippers are really expressing worry this time. And we see this one right here. It says dirty December. That's the kicker. $500 tourism tax proposal exploitative, says NITCOM. All right, page 7 has got that story. Still at the base of the Guardian newspaper now. Federal government to distribute 75,000 naira to 70 million Nigerians. Is it gonna hit your account? I don't know. Okay, but let's go see this one now. Page 3. Nigeria suffering from mismanagement, says Sanusi. And I saw in some of the headline where Sanusi had said, I will not help the Tinubu government. We don't know why he said that, but he did. Now, why we resist tax reforms bills by NLC. Page 3 is also carrying that, so page 2 and 3 now are looking really popular now. To page 5, Fagbemi reveals surge in presidential pardon requests. So there's a surge now in presidential pardon requests. I see. All right, but just I think that would be all with the Guardian newspaper this morning. But let's get on to the Daily Trust newspaper, the big story. Why I won't help Tinubu government. Amir Sanusi is saying that one audaciously. And it's got two writers to it. It says, President lacks credible team. Oh, it's not really about the president now. It's about the team that surrounds the president, he says. And the second writer, presidency. Mum. In other words, presidency go, shh. We will not talk. We will not respond to that. All right? Page 4 is carrying the story now. Well, I see this one here, and on page 3, I've got sharp eyes. Borno farmers killing. That's the kicker. Terrorists ambush soldiers. Others recovering corpses. Borno farmers killing. A kicker. Terrorists ambush soldiers. Others recovering corpses. All right, I see this one here, and on page 36 now. War in Gaza, that is the kicker. Israel, Hamas seal ceasefire deal. Okay. Because seeing that news, where about 46,000 Palestinians lost their lives. Please, enough is enough, you guys. Enough is enough. Now to page 4, prison decongestion. That's the kicker now. Federal government to pardon convicts inaugurates committee. Convicts? Well, these convicts, they didn't have a shade of name. They didn't say whether these people were kidnappers, terrorists, bandits, thieves, armed robbers, assassins. Well, you want to find details on that, you better go to page 4 of the Daily Trust. Prison decongestion. Federal government to pardon convicts inaugurates committee. Well, we're seeing this one here, and it sees me too. Page 3, we are struggling to survive. Falling heroes, widows are saying that one. It must be a very deplorable situation right there. And to page 21, right. Page 21 has got this one. Military bans drone operation in Northeast. Okay. And to page 39, or page 19, I beg your pardon. Inflation rises to 38.80% in December. All right, there was a rise. Keep in mind, the president has said, as a projection for 2024, inflation should come down to 15%. But rather than coming down as of December, it was 38.80%. It's rather increasing, but we are hoping that January might begin to yield the fruits of our labor. All right, but let's go see this one here now on page 29. Senate queries State House over 5.9 billion naira spendings on vehicles. All righty, 5.9 billion naira spending on vehicles. Okay. But let's see this one now away from the Daily Trust newspaper. I've got the Punch newspaper, and the Punch newspaper has got me to the big story on the front page. 34.8% inflation rate triggers fears of rising prices, hardship. 34.8% inflation rate triggers fears of rising prices, hardship. All right, it's got just one rider to it now. High demand for goods, services during Yuletide season caused inflation, says National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. All right, the story is found on page 21 and to page 29 now. Tinubu governor salutes fallen heroes, pledge support for widows. All right. And this one right here says on page 15, dogs kill Nigerian woman in Italy. All right. And this one right here, it says just above, or well, to the side of the Punch newspaper banner now, retired generals, others worry over fresh terror attacks in Northeast. Page 2 has got that story. And to page 7 now, the last one that will be taken with the Punch newspaper. Reps Deputy Chief Whip Ananuga dies at 59. Page 7 holds that story down. And away from the Punch newspaper now to the Vanguard newspaper, the big story. Why Boko Haram bandits thrive. Why Boko Haram bandits thrive. That's the kicker though, and it's the big story with the Vanguard newspaper. It's got it says ex-generals, commanders allege NGOs, others aiding terrorists. NGOs have been cited now as aiding terrorism in the country. Why Boko Haram bandits thrive. Ex-generals, commanders allege NGOs, others aiding terrorists. Page 14 has got that story. A couple of writers follow now. Why war against Boko Haram banditry, others, is unending. Retired generals are saying that. Say NGOs, international agencies, covertly aiding supply of arms to terrorists in forest. And yet another writer explained why foreign countries refuse to sell arms to Nigeria. This one says, note, locals covertly providing membership for terrorist groups. Really now? Now another writer laments efforts to prosecute terrorist sponsors sabotage by vested interest. Vested interest. Okay, now the last writer to that one now suggests ways out of security